So today I'm going to share with you my thoughts about the economy and how it's affecting small business, and in general sharing with you some of my thoughts about the opportunities out there. I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of learning in the last few weeks and months, and I want to share with you some of my thoughts where it comes to where am I going to put my time and money in the next, not just the next few weeks or month, but also potentially the next decade or two, because the last few months been crazy, and I want to make sure that I share with you as much as I can about how I look at things, because I know it's going to affect a lot of people who watch this channel. So if you like what you see or you like this channel in general, hit the like button and subscribe if you didn't yet, because I'm going to share some more of those thoughts in the future. Anyway, so what's going to happen with the economy, right? Are we going up? Are we going down? How it's affecting small business? Do you even want to be in small business, right? What are the risks? What are the upside? What are the downsides? Those are some of the things I'll share with you today. And I'm going to compare things to real estate, the stock market, cash, gold, Bitcoin, and art, which is basically, if you compare small business, those are pretty much all or most of the things people compare it to, right? So where should you put your time? Where should you put your money? I'm going to share with you some of the thoughts on where I'm thinking about putting my money and time in the next decade or two. So real estate compared to small business, right? What's going on with real estate? I mean, look at the commercial real estate space, for example. It's going crazy, right? I mean, who's going to work from offices in the future? We don't know. We seriously don't know. Look at Google. They announced that they're allowing their employees to work from their homes for the rest of 2021. Companies prefer to save millions of dollars on office costs. Just put their money somewhere else, in research and development, in more marketing, in more products, right? In better employees versus, I don't know, I guess creating more crazy kitchens and places for people to just waste their time. I'm looking at productivity. In the end of the day, business owners care about productivity of their employees, and if they'll find out that people are more productive from home, I'm sorry, but not a lot of people are going to work from office, not at least in the way it used to be so far. Because I mean, if you do work from an office and you have employees working in an office, you understand that people are not really that productive in the office, right? Like how much time people spend in a lunch. It looks like there's a lunch every hour or so. Right, so that's the problem with commercial real estate. For people who have a lot of experience in that space, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opportunities, but I think there's a lot of risk because people don't know, especially if we're talking about commercial real estate that have office space, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Retail, I don't know, we'll see, but it looks like if we thought things are moving to the internet, it looks like it's moving more than ever, right? Multifamily, I think people they need a home forever. Obviously, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what things going to look like. And I'm going to talk about it when I'm going to talk about the stock market. Are we going to a recession, potentially depression? People are even going to have money to pay rents, right? Are we going to go into some kind of another potential downside from people are not able to pay their rent, which obviously can happen, unfortunately. Do you see real estate as a business or as an investment opportunity, right? If it's a business, that's one thing. If it's an investment opportunity, how much you're in control, right? How much you're investing in someone that you know or don't know, right? What's your upside on a real estate compared to your downside? There's only so many things you can do in a real estate investment, right? Like there's only so many tenants you can bring to a real estate investment, even if it's a huge multifamily complex. Like how, there's a limit. In business, in small business, there's no limit. That's what I like in small business. What about stock market, right? Here's my challenge with the stock market that I personally don't like as an investor, is the fact that when you see the opportunities in small businesses, it's just insane. Like you see people buy Tesla stocks, and again, there's nothing wrong with Tesla. I'm just this one company that I see a lot of people talk about. It's an amazing company, but you buy their stock at multiples of hundreds, I think it's 200 times multiples of their EBITDA or something like that, right? When you have small businesses, you can buy for 2 times or 3 times multiples of their EBITDA, right? And obviously when you buy Tesla stock, you're not in control. Like you're not in control if Elon Musk is gonna smoke joint in Joe Rogan podcast and the stock value is gonna go down. Nothing wrong about that, but if you look for control, I think it's like for people who like controlling their investments, I think it's it's kind of like weird. So high multiples, obviously you have no control, and I don't know, like based on the research and some of the learning that I've done in the last few weeks, again, I don't have a crystal ball, but it looks like we're going to a very difficult next few years, potentially a decade or more, right? Some people like even predict some kind of depressions. So we'll see about that. Stock picking, are you going to pick specific stocks? there's only so many people who know how to do that, right? And it's a very difficult place to be in. Again, you don't have control. You don't know what's going to change in the market or not. Like if you told people a few months ago that people won't be able to leave their home, and based on that they need to make investment decisions, they will call you crazy, right? So we don't know what's happening. Man, it looks like the next few years potentially going to go through a very difficult depression, potentially as big as what the US had in 1930. But we don't know, right? Everyone just have some expectations, have some predictions, but in the end of the day, we'll need to wait and see what's going on. Obviously, if we're comparing things to cash, like we see the Fed is, printing money like crazy. So it's not like the dollar value is going up, right? So there's a lot of things you need to take into consideration when you're thinking about, okay, do I want to put my time into the stock market, right? Those are some of the things you want to think about. So what about cash, right? Other people say, hey, just keep your money in cash. Then I would say depends on where you're at, right? Obviously, if you have billions of dollars, then I would say putting too much of your portfolio in cash might be too much of a risk, right? Because obviously there's inflation, there's a few percentage a year where your value is going down every year, and potentially now with printing more money, it's not getting better. And obviously you got to think about your opportunity cost, right? What are your other options? People think, okay, let me leave the capital in cash. I think it really depends on your situation. What are your other options? Obviously, how much you need that cash. Do you need the cash to live? That's one thing. Do you look for that cash as an investment vehicle? That's another thing. Obviously, yeah, we don't know if we're going to inflation, deflation. There's a lot of opportunities. The future is looking, what can I say, very almost depressing, but at the same time very exciting, especially from the place that I'm coming from the opportunity that I see in the small business space. It's very exciting. At the same time, it's almost depressing to see all the people out there who are suffering right now, right? So I think it's almost an opportunity for good people to go and help small business owners and save jobs and create jobs and help people retire in a better way. That's why I'm kind of like a bit biased about the small business space. And then obviously a lot of people talk about gold, Bitcoin, art. Again, you want to ask yourself, okay, again, is it exciting? Obviously, uncertainty, obviously. What about risk? What about liquidity in those asset classes, right? So those are some of the things you want to think about. Don't get me wrong, I love the Bitcoin space, all the blockchain. I do a lot of research in that space as well. I even have a nice chunk of my portfolio in that space. I won't tell you where exactly, but there's a lot of cool opportunities in there. And if it's gonna, let's say, fulfill on the promise, I think it's a very exciting opportunity. So yeah, when I'm looking at all those things and I'm comparing them to small business, it's very interesting, right? So you need to think about what are your returns, like stock market, real estate, cash. Obviously, like there's not much return in those spaces. Like how much can you get in real estate? If you're getting 7%, 8%, you're genius, right? I'm not even talking right now about the stock market. There's not a lot of people who can get 10, 15% a year. There's no, like people who get 15% a year on a regular basis are running multi-billion-dollar funds, right? What I like about the small business space, I think that right now with the acquisitions.com platform, we almost create an opportunity to scale the small business acquisition investment opportunity. Because what was the challenge so far in investing in small business was the fact that there's only so many businesses you can basically invest in, right? Because you need a lot of control, kind of like there's only so many businesses you can run day to day. I think that we pretty much solved that challenge, which we're gonna share more about that in the future, which I'm super excited about that, to almost invest in small businesses and create, like the small business space is known to predict and give better results for investors, for entrepreneurs. Like you can easily see 30, 40% return year over year with small businesses because there's so much things you can do in operations to improve things. The cash flow is amazing, right? Obviously I'm not talking about startups, by the way, right? I'm talking about businesses that already produce cash flow, already have list of clients, already have revenues and have product market fit, right? I'm talking about businesses doing at least 1 million a year in revenues. So basically, if you're able to find those deals in a good way, if you're able to finance those deals, if you have a good CEO to run those businesses, I think there's an amazing opportunity there. Like right now, we're closing a deal with one of our community members, and it's a business doing a few million a year in sales. The returns for the investors in that deal is going to be insane. It's the first time we're bringing in outside investors for our deals, which I'm super excited about the opportunity as well. So those are some of my thoughts when I'm comparing things, right? In small business, like in the end of the day, people, when they're looking for investments, they're looking for one of those things, right? They're looking for income, for cash flow, for appreciation. I think with small business, you can get all of them, right? You can get all of them. Obviously, there's some questions you want to ask yourself, like how much of the cash flow you want to issue as dividend versus reinvest back into the business, right? Appreciation, obviously you have control over that. You can grow, you can do better marketing, better sales, you can hire more people, sell more services, sell more products. Your upside on a deal can be so much more in your control versus all of the other things here. And obviously the upside, there's no limit for your upside, right? How much can you grow a business to? No limit. Obviously the more value you add to the clients, the better you can grow too. And obviously you're much more in control, right? When you're buying a small business or you're investing in a small business, you can talk to the CEO, to the owner, to the manager directly right away, right? So you can help, you can influence actions, right? Which is, in my opinion, very important. Those are some of my thoughts. Like, future for me is definitely small business. Like, I think small business, we're in control. We know what's possible. The returns are stable compared to other things. The risk is very minimal if you're buying the right business. Obviously, you need to know what is a good business in order to buy the right business. And those businesses that survive the coronavirus right now, I mean, obviously, we don't know if there's going to be a different virus that won't allow us to surf the internet, but then I think it's going to be an apocalypse. But I think that if you find good businesses that survive the coronavirus and still thriving, and you can buy those businesses, and there's a lot of those businesses because there's a lot of people that are looking to retire or change careers or have unfortunately personal events that they gotta get rid of the business, or they just want to do something else and you can pay them a fair accounting evaluation. That's why I think those opportunities, if you can find them, if you can invest in them, or if you lost your job, I think that's a great opportunity to become an entrepreneur, right? If you have a business, I think that's a great opportunity to grow your business, right? And go and buy businesses that you understand in. People say the best investment you can make is in things you understand. So if you have an existing business, that's what other businesses you want to invest in, businesses you understand. And the best way to do that is to grow by acquisitions, to buy your competitors, to buy complementary businesses, to provide more services and products to your clients. That's the way to go. And some people don't have any experience or don't know anything or don't want to do much work and just want to get paid a little bit, at least minimum, hourly rate. I can tell you for a fact, I know a lot of people who will be happy to pay young people to just find them good deals, and I'm one of them, right? Just pay per hour, pay either a retainer or hourly rate, or just even share small equity in the deal just for finding the deals. And that's why I think small business is a great opportunity for everyone involved. If you're an investor, if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're just someone who's looking for quick income as an associate, or call it someone who's referring deals basically. So I think make a decision how much control you want, what role you want to do, you want to have in your, investment decisions in your future career. My personal opinion is just that in a lot of those things, you're not in much control, especially if it's a passive thing for you, right? If it's your thing and you can, like an entrepreneur in the real estate space, that's a different thing. But I don't like the fact that you don't have much upside in the real estate space. I mean, there's not many businesses, there's not many real estate investment opportunities where you can grow more than 100% year over year on a continuing basis, right? In business, it's very doable. Like if you're buying one business a year, very doable to double your revenue year over year, right? Obviously, to some extent, but that's why you see big companies, that's the way for them to grow. It's very difficult for them to grow organically, only doing sales and marketing. And they're going out there and they're buying companies, right? That's why you see Facebook buying WhatsApp or buying Instagram, because there's only so much they can do internally. They just rather go out there and buy companies that have infrastructure, that have clients, that have technology, that have good clients. And that's, in my opinion, the most exciting things in the future. The returns are much more in your control. You have access to the cash flow, you have access to the management, and that's where I'm going to put all of my time and money in the next few years, decades, and I feel like that's my life purpose as well, like helping people do the same and help them and be involved in their deals and their acquisitions. As an investor, as a team member, as part of any way I can help with. So anyway, I hope you got some value from this video and you like some of the thoughts that I shared. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you didn't yet, and let me know in the comments below if you have more questions or thoughts about more videos or questions you have in general. I'd love to get back to you. And if you feel like small business acquisitions is a space for you, go and look at the links in the descriptions, or somewhere below this video, and we're gonna show you kind of like how to go into it as a full-time thing. If you want to be an investor or an entrepreneur, or you just want to find deals for people, we can potentially invite you to our community with hundreds of people nowadays, of people who are out there buying businesses and doing deals every day. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.